Did you know that every single thing you ate today had to pass through one organ before your body could use any of it, and that organ is currently working overtime, inflamed, and nobody told you? Over one-third of the global population is living with fatty liver disease, and most of them have zero symptoms until serious damage is already done. High blood pressure, hormonal chaos, insulin resistance, all silently driven by a liver that's drowning in fat and toxins. So I went deep. I spent weeks pulling apart clinical research, nutritional biochemistry, and real patient outcomes to find out, is there actually a way to reverse this through food alone? Here's where it gets interesting. The answer is yes, but the foods that work are almost nothing like what mainstream health advice recommends. In fact, some of the most powerful liver healing foods are things you probably already have in your kitchen and never thought twice about. In this video, I'll walk you through all 10 of them, from allium vegetables that supercharge bile production, to fermented foods that spike your glutathione levels, to one tiny sprout that carries 100 times more detox power than its full-grown version. But before we dive in, drop a comment below. How old are you? Where are you watching from? And have you been diagnosed with fatty liver? I read every single comment, and I will personally answer your questions. Let's get into it. No complicated medical jargon, no impossible diet plans. Just 10 real foods, explained simply, so anyone can start today. Number 1. Allium vegetables. Garlic, onions, scallions, chives. Most people cook with garlic every day without realizing they're using one of the most powerful liver medicines on the planet. Allium vegetables are loaded with sulfur compounds, specifically allicin and diallyl disulfide, that directly stimulate your liver to produce more bile. Why does that matter? Because bile is what your body uses to break down fat and flush out toxins. Without enough bile, fat accumulates in your liver cells. And that's exactly how fatty liver disease starts and gets worse. The mechanism is straightforward. Sulfur compounds activate enzymes in phase 2 liver detoxification, the stage where your liver neutralizes harmful chemicals and prepares them for elimination. A 2016 study published in Advanced Biomedical Research found that raw garlic supplementation significantly reduced body weight and liver fat in patients with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, with participants consuming just 800 milligrams of garlic powder daily, showing measurable improvement in liver enzyme levels within 15 weeks. The simplest way to use it: crush 1 or 2 raw garlic cloves and let them sit for 10 minutes before eating or cooking. That resting period activates the allicin. Add it to eggs, salads, or stir it into warm, not boiling olive oil. Raw is more potent than cooked, but even cooked garlic still delivers meaningful benefit. Number 2. Eggs. Here's one that surprises people every time. Eggs were demonized for decades, but the science has flipped completely. Eating at least 2 eggs per day is one of the most efficient ways to deliver choline directly to your liver cells. Choline is a nutrient that most people are severely deficient in, and your liver cannot function properly without it. The mechanism comes down to cell membrane integrity. Choline is a key building block of phosphatidylcholine, the molecule that forms the outer membrane of every liver cell. Without enough choline, liver cells become fragile, inflammation increases, and fat transport out of the liver slows down. The National Institutes of Health has established that approximately 90% of Americans do not meet adequate choline intake levels, and liver disease is one of the documented consequences of prolonged choline deficiency. 2 eggs give you roughly 250 to 300 milligrams of choline, covering close to half your daily requirement in one meal. The best preparation is soft-boiled or poached, because high heat breaks down some choline content. Eat them in the morning or at the start of your eating window, pairing them with allium vegetables to stack the liver benefits. Number 3. Cruciferous vegetables. Broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts. Your liver produces a compound called glutathione, and it may be the single most important antioxidant your body makes. Cruciferous vegetables are the most reliable food-based way to boost its production. They contain glucosinolates, which convert into compounds like indole-3-carbinol that directly upregulate the genes responsible for glutathione synthesis. Glutathione does three things that are critical for liver recovery. It neutralizes free radicals that damage liver cells. It helps regenerate other antioxidants like vitamin C and E, and it supports DNA repair in cells that have already been stressed. A study from the Journal of Nutrition found that men who ate 500 grams of cruciferous vegetables daily showed a 30% reduction in DNA oxidative damage over just 3 weeks. For practical use, lightly steam your broccoli rather than boiling it. Boiling destroys the enzyme myrosinase, which is needed to convert glucosinolates into their active form. 5 minutes of steaming preserves it. Aim for 1 cup daily and rotate between broccoli, cauliflower, and kale to get a broader spectrum of compounds. Number 4. Microgreens. This one tends to stop people mid-scroll. A tiny sprout sitting on your kitchen windowsill carries up to 100 times more sulforaphane than a fully grown broccoli head. Sulforaphane is arguably the most studied liver protective compound in nutritional science right now. It activates the NRF2 pathway, a master genetic switch that triggers your liver's internal detox machinery and dramatically ramps up glutathione production. Research published in Cancer Prevention Research demonstrated that sulforaphane from broccoli sprouts reduced liver inflammation markers and improved detoxification enzyme activity in human subjects. The concentration in microgreens makes them one of the most cost-efficient liver foods available. You can grow broccoli microgreens at home in under a week using a shallow tray, organic seeds, and a spray bottle. No soil needed, just a damp growing medium. Add a small handful to your eggs in the morning or mix into a salad. Do not cook them. Heat destroys sulforaphane completely. Number 5. Herbs and spices. Milk thistle, turmeric, cinnamon. 3 herbs, 3 completely different mechanisms, all working together for your liver. Milk thistle contains silymarin, a compound that has been shown in multiple randomized controlled trials to reduce liver enzyme levels, ALT and AST, in patients with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. A meta-analysis of 17 clinical studies published in Phytomedicine confirmed that silymarin significantly improved liver function markers across diverse patient populations. Take it as a standardized extract of 140 milligrams 3 times daily with meals. Turmeric works through curcumin, which blocks the NF-κB inflammatory pathway directly inside liver tissue. The challenge is absorption. Curcumin alone has poor bioavailability, so always combine it with black pepper, which increases absorption by up to 2,000% according to research from Planta Medica. Half a teaspoon of turmeric with a pinch of black pepper in warm water or golden milk, taken daily, is enough to make a measurable difference. Cinnamon addresses a specific mechanism that most people overlook: blood sugar regulation. Every blood sugar spike triggers an insulin surge, and chronic insulin elevation directly promotes fat storage in the liver. Ceylon cinnamon, not cassia, contains compounds that sensitize insulin receptors and slow glucose absorption. A quarter teaspoon in your morning drink is sufficient. Number 6. Green tea and peppermint tea. Green tea contains catechins, particularly EGCG, epigallocatechin galate, which has been shown to reduce liver fat accumulation and lower inflammation. A 12-week study published in the International Journal of Molecular Medicine found that high-concentration green tea extract reduced liver fat content by 44% in participants with fatty liver disease. 2 to 3 cups of brewed green tea daily delivers a meaningful therapeutic dose. Peppermint tea serves a different purpose. It relaxes the smooth muscle of the bile ducts, improving bile flow and reducing the kind of bile sludge that contributes to liver congestion. Drink 1 cup of peppermint tea after your largest meal of the day. Do not combine them in the same cup. Drink them at separate times for best effect. Number 7. Berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. Berries give your liver vitamin C and a dense payload of phytochemicals, including anthocyanins, which reduce oxidative stress in liver tissue without spiking blood sugar the way processed fruit juices do. The fiber matrix in whole berries slows glucose release, making them a genuinely liver-friendly way to satisfy sweet cravings. 1 cup of mixed berries daily is the practical target. Frozen is equally effective as fresh and often more affordable. Number 8. Fermented foods. Kimchi, sauerkraut. The gut-liver axis is real. Roughly 70% of blood leaving your intestines flows directly to your liver through the portal vein, which means whatever is living in your gut is constantly interacting with your liver. Fermented foods repopulate your gut with beneficial bacteria that reduce intestinal permeability, meaning fewer toxins leak from your gut into your liver. They also independently raise glutathione levels through bacterial metabolite production. A 1/4 cup of kimchi or sauerkraut with 1 meal per day is enough to shift your gut microbiome meaningfully within 4 to 6 weeks. Number 9. Healthy fats. Extra virgin olive oil, avocado. Your liver needs fat to release bile. Without dietary fat, bile sits stagnant in your gallbladder and bile ducts, creating pressure and sluggish detox function. Extra virgin olive oil contains oleocanthal, a compound with anti-inflammatory properties comparable to low-dose ibuprofen, as documented in research from the journal Nature. 2 tablespoons of cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil daily stimulates bile release and provides fat-soluble vitamin absorption. Use it cold, drizzled over food. Heating destroys its active compounds. Number 10. Supporting foods. Asparagus, celery, mushrooms, ripe tomatoes, lemon, pomegranate seeds. These are the quiet workers. Asparagus contains asparagine and glutathione. Celery provides apigenin, a flavonoid that reduces liver inflammation. Mushrooms supply beta-glucans that modulate immune response in liver tissue. Ripe tomatoes deliver lycopene, a carotenoid specifically concentrated in liver cells under stress. Lemon water first thing in the morning stimulates bile flow through its citric acid content. Pomegranate seeds contain punicalagins, some of the most potent antioxidants tested in liver cell research to date. Rotate these throughout your week rather than trying to eat all of them every day. Now you have the full list. But here's the thing most people don't hear about. The foods alone are only part of the story. There are 2 additional strategies that determine whether these foods actually work or just sit there doing nothing. One involves when you eat, not just what you eat. The other involves what you need to remove from your kitchen entirely. We'll cover both of those right now. If you want your liver to actually use everything we just covered, there are 2 things you need to do alongside the food. Most people skip these and then wonder why nothing is changing. Don't make that mistake. The first one sounds almost too simple. If you want your liver to stop accumulating fat and start burning through what's already there, give it a window of silence every single day. This is intermittent fasting, and for liver recovery specifically, it may be the single most powerful tool available outside of medication. Here is the mechanism your doctor probably never explained. During your eating hours, your liver is busy processing incoming nutrients, managing blood sugar, and producing bile. The moment you stop eating, your liver shifts into a completely different mode. It activates a cellular cleanup process called autophagy, where damaged liver cells are broken down and recycled. It also begins oxidizing stored liver fat for energy, which is the direct reversal of fatty liver disease. This switch only happens after roughly 12 to 14 hours without food, which means it almost never occurs if you eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and evening snacks spread across 14 to 16 hours, like most people do. The practical structure is straightforward. Eat within a 6-hour window, for example, from noon to 6 p.m., and fast the remaining 18 hours. Water, plain peppermint tea, and green tea are all permitted during the fast and actually support the process. A clinical trial published by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that time-restricted eating reduced liver fat by an average of 3.8% over 12 weeks in participants with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, without requiring any caloric restriction at all. That number matters because even a 3 to 5% reduction in liver fat has been shown to meaningfully improve liver enzyme levels and insulin sensitivity. For elderly individuals, the noon start time works particularly well because it preserves morning medication routines and avoids low blood sugar in the early hours. If 18 hours feels too aggressive at the start, begin with a 12-hour fast and extend by 1 hour each week until you reach a window that feels sustainable. Now, if you want everything else in this video to actually work instead of being canceled out by what else you are eating, this part matters just as much. Refined vegetable oils, canola, soybean, sunflower, corn oil, are processed at extremely high temperatures using chemical solvents that leave oxidized lipid byproducts in the final product. When your liver processes these oxidized fats, they directly trigger inflammatory pathways inside liver tissue. Replace them entirely with cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil for cold use and coconut oil or grass-fed butter for cooking. Added sugar works through a separate but equally damaging mechanism. Fructose, found in table sugar and high fructose corn syrup, is processed almost exclusively by the liver and converts directly into liver fat at a rate that no other macronutrient matches. A study from the Journal of Hepatology confirmed that just 8 weeks of high fructose intake produced measurable increases in liver fat, even in healthy individuals with no prior liver disease. Choose organic produce where possible, particularly for the vegetables on this list, since pesticide residues are fat-soluble and accumulate directly in liver tissue. Non-GMO certification is a reasonable secondary filter when organic is unavailable or too costly. These two changes, tightening your eating window and cleaning up your oils and sugars, are what separate people who see real improvement from people who eat the right foods and still wonder why their liver enzymes are not moving. Your liver has been working silently for you every single day without complaint. Now it is your turn to work for it. Every garlic clove you crush, every cup of green tea you brew, every hour you give your liver to rest. It all adds up. Recovery is not one dramatic moment. It is 100 small decisions made consistently. Start with just one food from this list today. Not tomorrow, not Monday. Today. If this video helped you, hit like, share it with someone whose liver needs this information, and subscribe, because next video is something you genuinely cannot afford to miss. Take care of yourself. See you soon.